Yes, Monica, ma'am.
With warm greetings, I extend my warmest welcome to the talk show Education 4.0 for Safe, Sustainable Societies.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the talk show organized by Samurja Educational Society on the theme Education 4.0 for Safe, Sustainable Societies. We appreciate and applaud everyone, our panelists and participants, for the zeal to share and passion to learn with Samurja. Samurja means sum of creative energies. Here is a small video what Samurja does.
Samurja Educational Society, established in the year 1991, has completed its gratifying journey of 3 decades. The society was conceptualized with the objective of educating children and preparing them to be morally upright and vocationally independent. Ever since its inception, the society has continued to take tiny steps forward, redesigning the educational fabric in all possible ways through various educational activities, besides conducting social outreach programs like the Girl Next Door and the Charity War. Samurja is constantly striving to bring together some of the most ignited minds in the field of education to introduce change in the educational fabric of the nation by providing educational vision, empowering educators, inspiring learners, and elevating various organizations through training sessions, panel discussions, talk shows, conferences, and symposiums. The Society has also conceptualized and published periodicals and magazines for students and teachers. Samurja continues to explore new domains, trends and landscapes to enrich the educators across the country by equipping them to resolve the academic challenges in their classroom to make teaching and learning more joyous and engaging. It also helps educators realize their vision and collaborate with national and international educators to have sustainable societies and a happy nation, thus redefining the paradigms of Indian education. Jai Hind, Namaskar.
Today, technology is driving the world. Everyone wishes to perform every single task effectively and efficiently. Effectively in terms of results and efficiently in terms of time to make this world a better place. Technology brings skills, knowledge, processes, practices, techniques, and tools together for solving problems and making lives secure and easier. Technology affects almost every domain of 21st century life, from home supplies to safety and security, from transport efficiency to access to food and healthcare, from socialization to enhance productivity in schools, institution, organization, offices, and business. Technology is changing our life besides helping us to improve the existing conditions. Also, technology has become indispensable to enhanced collaboration and effective communication in our personal and professional lives. In today's session, we will restrict ourselves to education and precisely to the teaching learning processes. Technology provides students with easy to access information, accelerated learning, personalized learning opportunities, and making differential approach much easier, and fun opportunities to practice what students learn. WWW era, whatever, wherever, whenever. It enables students to explore new subjects and deepen their understanding to difficult concepts. Also, it improves teachers' efficiency and efficacy. Needless to say, during this time of global crisis, technology scaffolded us to sail this ship of teaching and learning. Technology is the pen and paper of today's classroom. It should be in the hands of every student and every teacher. Bill Gates said, technology is just a tool in terms of getting the kids working together and motivating them. The teacher is most important. No one can replace great teachers. And one of our very dear friend, Dr. Arnav Singh, always says, technology cannot replace teachers, but teachers using technology will replace those who do not use it. And we all agree to it. The glitches are who, when, where, and how to use technology or technological tools. The question arises, is there any formula, any model to use tech tools? And that is the topic for today's session, T3 sandwich model. And to deliberate on this topic, we have with us a very dynamic, versatile young school leader, Dr. Preeti Ojha. We welcome Dr. Preeti Ojha. Please extend the verbal greeting.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
I request Monica, ma'am, to introduce and welcome our guest with a musical note. Monica, ma'am, will you please play the video again? My observation is whenever Samuja is having the session on technology, there are always technological glitches, but it's perfectly okay because we are the teachers and we know how to overcome all these. We also have with us our mentor, Dr. Rajesh Hasija, Director, Indraprastha Group of Schools, a leader with unique qualities, and he is too humble and down to earth. Again, from technology, Dr. Sija, we welcome you.
Thank you, Dr. Mukta. Good afternoon to you. And really, I'm a fan of yours, the way so many domains, so many approaches, so many ideas for a teacher to learn. Grateful to you. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You are the inspiration. We are not having with us Dr. Ashok Pandey, Director, Elcon Group of Schools. He got stuck up with some personal assignment, but his blessings are always with us. He has texted us the same. Without further delay, I'll request Preeti ma'am to kindly share with us what exactly this sandwich model is. The moment I heard it, I got so much fascinated. I was just waiting for this session. There are so many tech tools in our talk shows. Earlier also, we have discussed the sessions based on technology, gamology. Today, we want to know something about this sandwich model. Over to Preeti ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, Mukta ma'am. Thank you so much, Dr. Hasija, Monica, and all the members of Samraj. And extremely thankful to all the teachers and leaders who could come together to become a participant in this program today. This is one of the topics which is very close to my heart, and I keep struggling with lots of educationists to let them know that bring out the myth from your mind that technology is the only best way of teaching. Technology can accelerate the learning and the learning outcome among the students and all the stakeholders, including teachers. But it is not the only one way of teaching children. And if you are not very well equipped with various kinds of technology tools, doesn't mean that you are not well equipped teacher. But in case you are able to satisfy the need of the child, you start becoming a better educator, learner, and as well as a co-learner with the students. With this, I would like to share a presentation with all the teachers and leaders here today. With your permission, Mukta ma'am, if I may go ahead and share the presentation for everyone.
Please go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Can everybody see my screen? Mukta ma'am, can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. To begin with, let me introduce myself. I have been working with technology for a very long time in education. My duration to start with teaching profile was as a computer science teacher, where I was taken to a lab to teach children various chapters given in the book. That was the day I realized that this is no subject, but this is a tool which will connect all the other subjects. And looking into that, I realized what is the power a teacher has. Before I go ahead with any of the thoughts that I have on this sandwich model that I'm going to talk about, I would definitely let you know that this is one of the most famous saying that I always read in Heimgenot, that being a conclusion that I am the decisive element in the classroom. It's my personal approach that creates the climate. It's my daily mood that makes the weather. As a teacher, I possess tremendous power to make a student's life miserable or joyous. I can be a tool of torture or an instrument of inspiration. I can humiliate or humor, hurt or heal. In all situations, it is my response that decides whether a crisis will be escalated or de-escalated, and a student humanized or dehumanized. This is how I usually look as a teacher's profile in the classroom. So you need to master your thoughts. You need to think around what exactly are you going forward with your chalk and paper inside the classroom, because you will be the one who will be making sure for the students to receive the information, which I would like to let you know, ironically, to technology cannot be undone as soon as we think we can do it on the computer. The human mind manifests and understands what we teach them in the class in their virtual world of thought also. Let's have some ground rules. So if Monica or any one of them can help me to write it on the chat box, some of the ground rules, if you can please write it on the chat box for me also to read, which we will all together take forward until we finish our presentation today. So I want each one of you to please write few ground rules that will make the entire presentation very interesting and engaging. So if teachers and leaders can write few texts, what exactly do you think there can be some ground rules while we are working on this presentation today? Okay, we will be using some thoughts around animation. Okay, we'll be active. Thank you so much. That was extremely important. I would love that you all be a participant with me during this. Ethics in technology, extremely important. We'll definitely focus on that. Attention, interruption, raising hand to speak. Yes, definitely. I would be requesting Monica to allow the participants who would like to speak or write on the chat. Warming up sessions definitely would be there. Yes, I would like you all to please share your thoughts. Listening and understanding will be a criteria, definitely we will be following. It has to be interactive for sure, but 1 hour with 100 participants was very difficult for me to make it very interactive. But wherever, however way it will be possible, I'll be happy to cut down my presentation, but allow you to speak as much as you can. Okay. First Microcomputer Institute with the motto, we don't teach, we educate. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Live Project Club. More focused and informative. Definitely. Thank you, Kamla. That's the last ground rule that I taken. And I definitely would like to let you know that the bundle of teachers that we have over here are change makers of this generation. And you would let me know how exactly you take your class, which will help each one of us to share our experience and make ourselves reassured with what we are doing in our classrooms. Because sometimes what happens is that some of the teachers are a little slow with their technology implementation, and some of the teachers are very fast, quick, interactive, participant. But end of the day, you all have to see what's the learning outcome. With these words, we'll go ahead and thank you so much. Monica, I'm sure you must have noted down all the ground rules.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. When we look at this picture gives us a thought about how important it is today for children to learn through technology, especially through pandemic. We found that the children could come closer to technology. But the only thing that we need to now realize for how much time are they there with us engaged? How much focus can they give along with the teacher for the same topic? How much participation can they have? Do they know how to write? Do they know how to chat? Do they know how to speak when the chance and opportunity is given? Do they have the patience? Do they have the patience to gulp the hindrances of technology when something doesn't play the right time when it is required? These are lots of things that come across a teacher's profile while teaching a lesson plan, especially through technology, where I see that mode of teaching and learning in the classroom has to have something common. What do you think is common when we were using technology, when we were not using technology? What was that one thing? I would request the teachers to chat and let me know through the chat that they think is common during any classroom teaching, irrespective of technology or off technology. Connection with children, definitely. Teacher and student relationship, involvement of students, human element, excellent. Considerate behavior of educator, interaction, Neha, I think it's wonderful. Patience and students' involvement, I think it's extremely important. Learning didn't stop. That is something that I would like to let you all know. A huge round of applause for Bharti, that she said that how much ever we thought that we could get disconnected to children, but there is something in the blood of teachers and the students and the community that education cannot stop. And we were connected with the children, and we were connecting them with real life examples, rightly spoke by Sunita Rajiv ji, and learning of every child. Patience, we don't need to have big brain, as we don't need to keep data in mind. Learn, hold information, and how to retrieve. Wonderful. I think that's making the entire teaching process easier. Ritu has written that develop confidence, empathy, one-to-one interaction. Learning needs of a student remain common if we have technology or not. I think that's extremely, extremely important. But what I have related through all the information that you wrote in Crux is that sending and receiving of the information has been common. So for example, I am talking to all of you, so I'm sending some data to you, you're processing it and receiving it into form of information. See how beautifully we have converted a normal communication into a technical term. This is how basically technology helps us to connect. Disciplined atmosphere for teachers and students from both sides. Yes, muting the children was one of the things that I used to hate, but that's how most of the time classes could run because of the technical hindrances. And teach only what you already know, just relate with examples, definitely. I totally agree with you here, but I hope you all agree. Do you agree that we are sending some information to children and receiving some information from them? And it's vice versa. They are sending us some feedbacks and we are analyzing and then sending them back. Thank you, Bharti, for that. Yes, if I could see a few more yes or no, it gives me a reassurance of moving forward. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you, Deepa. Thank you, Amatir, Kanya, Gurukul. Wonderful, you're there. Yukti, thank you so much. This makes this entire process of learning as a joy for the leader, for the teacher, and for the mentor with whom you are working. Whenever I see what is changing in education, according to you, what are you seeing as a change in education? If any one of you can let me know, what is that one thing that you're changing in education, in books, textbooks, classroom? What do you think is changing according to you? That one technical word that I'm looking forward for. Okay. Digital orientation, wonderful. Teaching aids to start with, wonderful. Skills, online classes. Yes. Tech savvy, definitely. Digital training, yes. And I would like, I think you all are wonderful participating with me. I see the pedagogy of teaching is changing, definitely. And this is one of the things that we all teachers were struggling since a very long time to change as a dynamics in our classroom. We were definitely wanting all of us to come ourselves on technical tools to start teaching our children, because the learner today is a native of technology. They're more conveniently able to adapt to the few tools that we showcase and start working with it. Tools available. Let me tell you, I have these number of tools that I'm going to show you just now. And let me tell you, will these tools help you when I share with you? And will it help you to understand how to take your class? This is one of the questions that you will answer me in the chat box after I show you all the tools. So let's start the tools. My all secret tools that I have. This is how I work. And this is how I define them for myself. Wow. Did you see the number of tools I have? I put it in the alphabetical order for all of you to look at it. And then again, it's not the end. We have more tools for you. I hope all of you can read it. You can see it. You can write it. You can take a picture of it. You can see the kind of work we teachers and leaders do to conduct our classes. I will be definitely sharing with you all these tools because this will definitely help you. Explain everything, Acrometer, Google Classroom, Ganzi, and then you have Jove. That's one of my favorites. Kahoot is one of the most closest one that I have, and many more. I'll keep showcasing you all of them. How did you find them? How are you finding them? If you can put it on the chat box, it helps me to take the next slide forward. There, and we come to the 100th tool that I have for teaching in the classroom with children. Now, my question to all of you is, these number of tools are available freely on the net, teachers and leaders. We have all of them. But how many of you had heard about Storyboard that? How many of you had ever thought of using Twinkie? How many of you wanted to use Woot Math? How many of you knew about Voices Digital? How many of you know about PAL schools? If you can write yes or no, I think that's going to give me a good answer. Great. Some yes, some no, not much. Not at all. Yes, fine. Some of them, not much. No, a few more little, not much. Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much. This gives me an idea about where exactly are we approaching and which are the slides that I need to skip and which are the slides I can go ahead with little more detailed discussion among each other. Mode of teaching is essential, and that is what we are looking forward for. During this pandemic, there are two types of teaching modes which have come to my realization. The first that I see is hybrid teaching, and the second one I see is blended teaching. Now, there is a confusion among a lot of teachers that are they doing hybrid, are they doing blended? So if anybody would like to share their information on hybrid and blended, I would be really grateful. On the chat, a 2-line chat would be really, really beneficial for all the others to read. There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. We all are learners. We all need to write and expose our thoughts because this will help us a lot to reassure what exactly are we doing in our class. Anybody? What's hybrid teaching? Hybrid means taking class offline and online together. Bullseye, you have made it sure to let me know exactly the right definition. Hybrid is a mix of online, offline. Charu Arora, absolutely right. Akanksha, online and offline, both. Wonderful, wonderful. I think all of us know what's hybrid. That means I'll make it a little more detailed for you to have a camera in your class. Have you physically present children in the class? And some of the children are online. The content and the material that you're teaching to the offline children is the same, which is getting transacted to the children who are online. That's all. That's hybrid teaching. I hope it makes it for all of us very simple, beautiful teachers. Vandana Arora, thank you so much for your brilliant answer. Live Project Club, like we go for the doctor after getting information from internet and confirm with the doctor. Wonderful, wonderful. I think absolutely right. Live Project Club, you have put it with an example, which makes it more clearer to all of us. Somebody who can put a light on blended teaching, I think that's going to be really nice. If blended teaching can also be told to me as making me also a little more wiser and enlightened about how exactly we teachers interpret blended teaching. And it can be just any answer. Don't worry about having a specific definition. I think you all are doing a fabulous job. Blended learning is online education materials for interacting online and traditional place-based classroom methods. Excellent, Bharti. That's a brilliant answer. I think a huge round of applause for you. And Sudha Singh, blended is flipping the class, definitely. Charu Arora, online and offline, different times, giving time material beforehand. Wonderful. I think now you have understood what's the difference in blended learning. We don't see whether the children are physically present or they are offline present. We use technology while we are teaching. We use technology where children participate in various kinds of information transaction which teacher and student together do. Let me give you a small example. For example, if I can ask Maninder Maan, if he's there, Maninder Maan to be unmuted by Monica. Maninder Maan is one of our teachers who took art as a class in global platform for 300 teachers all around the world under Education Influence. A brilliant teacher. Why? Why a brilliant teacher? Because there was no inhibition in him, whether he's technically equipped enough to take an art class, but he had all the zeal and enthusiasm to do this class for all the teachers, how to infuse art integration in teaching in the classroom with technology online through blended mode. So if I can ask Maninder Maan to take a minute and explain how exactly did he do that. Amatir, wonderful. Blended is using digital tool with traditional. Thank you so much. So Monica, if you can please help me with unmuting.
I've given the right. Given the right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Maninder is a male teacher. So Maninder, if you could kindly unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am, I've done.
Thank you. So Maninder, if you can enlighten all of us that how...
Monica ma'am, please give the audio video rights.
Thank you. Thank you, Mukta ma'am.
Good afternoon. Could you all hear me, ma'am?
Yeah, we can hear you very clear.
Great. Good afternoon, everyone. So this is Maninder. So I recently took a session, I guess, 1 minute.
We can hear you clear, Maninder.
Yes, ma'am. I just got a notification.
Okay.
So now I guess I've joined.
Thank you.
Excellent. So I recently took a session globally, which was a session on showing creativity in the classroom, which was related to connecting your normal every subject, connecting every subject with the art form, or creating connecting every subject with the creative sense. How could you teach a subject like science or maths using creativity in the classroom? How can you teach difficult topics like, so there was a topic on that day which we took, which was freedom, right? So this has different meaning for everybody, for us, for me, for children, for my parents. Everybody has different meaning for freedom, right? So so that is a difficult topic wherein people have their own meanings, and we need to teach them what is the meaning of freedom. So on that day, we had a session on which I connected art and creativity with freedom. So the style of showcasing that was when we paint, or when we draw, or when we like start drawing a picture. We can draw that, we can paint that, and then we tell our children to kindly color inside the outline. Do not color outside. The color should not come outside. It should not be untidy and all those. We're giving him rules. We're giving the child rules to do this and that, and then we say, do whatever you like to do. So two things we are giving the child. First is that we're saying to color it inside the outline, do not come outside the outline. And then we are also saying, do whatever you want to do. So the child thinks that, should I color inside, or should I, or is this freedom to me? No, the freedom should be like, I can color wherever I want to, right? So we have to change our words. We can say, you have to color inside the outline only, but you can choose whatever color you want. That is freedom. So we're giving two options for him. You need to be tidy, you need to be clean, and you need to color inside the outlining. Then next, also the artworks and all those were given to the teachers, so that the teachers can also connect science subject with it. So I explained them how can colors be diffused, or how can colors get, a sheet can get cracks using science. So children generally like all these things, seeing magic happening on the sheet. So all these things happened on that day.
Thank you. Thank you, Maninder. I would like you to also enlighten us. What were the tools you used
that day?
Technical tools, yeah.
Technical tools, right? So having this session online, which was a task wherein it should not have any gap as well, because the session was happening all over the place, all over the globe. Teachers from like Australia, Uzbekistan, South Africa, all over every country there were teachers on
India.
That day, 200 teachers. Yes, India as well, Pakistan. There were many teachers over there. So we should not have any glitch in the session. It should be very smooth. It was an art session basically. So I generally relate art with meditation. So what I did was, we had a nice background music in the session. Second tool that I used was, I used two cameras, in which I had an overhead camera which showed my art files, and I had a front camera which showed me. So the teachers, they were not facing difficulty interacting with me while they were having the session. Second, they were also seeing the file while I was working on it. Third thing that I used was a graphic tablet, with which I was drawing on the graphic tablet, and the teachers were able to see the drawing, especially directly on a white board. So which helped them, when generally we put the camera in front of on top of the sheet, we cannot see the drawing being drawn on that. Why? Because we have a habit of drawing very light. We should not draw very dark. So the light drawing doesn't captures in the camera. So the tool that I used for showing the drawing to the teachers was graphic tablets. All these things I've used.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for unknowingly just call you on this platform and ask you to speak on a holiday, especially when I'm sure it must be not the right time. But thank you so much to be attentive and alert. I hope all the teachers and the leaders here have understood what exactly is the meaning of hybrid and blended, where you have your subject very concrete with concept. You want to showcase to multiple people. The first thing that you need to have, of course, we found from Maninder, was you have to have right resources and use it at the right time. When I say blended learning becomes monotonous and boring when we are using multiple kinds of softwares to engage the child just because we are wanting to engage a lot of software, then the blended learning fails. But if you have right time usage of video, movie, sound, effects, talk, discussion, share, Mentimeter, the choice of using them at a regular interval is the decision-making capacity of the teacher. And only then your hybrid changes into blended, and your blended teaching enhances its profile and you reach to another level. So this is how basically I wanted to let you all know hybrid and blended takes its own place and course while we are teaching in the classroom. The most important thing which I usually see when a teacher or me myself, when I want to teach a topic is, how will you teach the topic? What are you going to teach in the topic? And why are you teaching the topic? So I would request all the participants here, which one do you think is most vital for you as a priority to think among the three questions? Why are you teaching the topic? What are you teaching? How will you teach? Just if you can write why, what, how, what, why, what, how, why, any probability. If you can just put it on the chat box, it gives me a little idea exactly how do you look at your lesson and how do you look at your way of thinking of showcasing your class in the classroom. Okay, how? We have to use the three sequence. Either, you have to use all the three words, why, what, and how. Yeah, very right. Sabari ji says that why most important, next what, and then how. Wonderful. Why, what, and how. Okay, great. Why, what, why, how, why. Tina writes it. Manenda says why, what, why, and then. Okay, why, what. Wonderful. I think we are getting a wonderful answer. Madhuri Singh has written why, what, how. Great. Sunita Rajiv ji has written why, what, how. Wonderful. I think we all have understood what exactly we were trying to come up to. That the most important goes the way it has been written over here. Why, what, and how. Why, I'll tell you, is a reason. Why are you here with me in this presentation? Why should you be here? There must be one reason which made you switch on your cameras, made you switch on and log in into your Zoom, because there was a why inside you for which you wanted to come and watch this presentation. Either you wanted to see me, either you wanted to see how exactly she's going to conduct the presentation. You had a why, let me see what exactly does she do, because I know a lot about technology and teaching style. Let me see if I can see more. Let me see if I'm doing better, or do I have to reform more? There can be numerous kinds of thoughts in your mind, which is very unique. 91 people online here will have 91 unique reasons of why they want to conduct or they want to be a part of this presentation. So once you realize with your topic that you're choosing in the class, then why are you going to teach that topic? So once you understand your why, ultimately you start reaching to your learning outcome. Because if I have to teach this, I have to concept build. I have to make sure they related to the real life. I hope that they understand this concept and theory and use it in the right way in grade 11th and 12th. It can be for any reason that you are actually looking forward for. And then what are you teaching? So basically, why you're teaching, what are you teaching is theory, practical, experiential, activity oriented. What are you teaching? And how will you be teaching is, are you using technology as a tool? Are you making your own resources? Are you making them discuss on their own? Are you making them self-driven learners? What exactly is the mode of your teaching is something that comes in the end. So teacher must think why, what, and how. Because once you are understanding this as a crux, using technology in it will be the essential component for you to balance your teaching style in the classroom. Because if you think a lot about technology is known to you, but what is the context that is diluting in the class will not leave you with any learning outcomes. So your major agenda in your 30 minutes or 40 minutes class or 20 minutes technically is to see that learning outcome. That's your why. What is basically the concept that you're teaching, and how is the mode. So your mode is coming at the last priority, because you need to first understand what are you going to deliver to children. So how will you deliver will be the last stage, which will be definitely seen by you as and when you come across various kinds of softwares and use it and experiment with them on your own. Now, when we think around this, we also need to understand students should also be understood by the teacher, and they should think around it that why should they learn what they're teaching, and what do they should learn while they're teaching, and how should they learn. Now, this is essential here. How is essential here? Why? Because what age group you're teaching is very important for you to realize. If they're very young children, then you have to make sure that there is a lot of movement of thoughts and a lot of movement on the slide, a lot of movement physically in the class, which makes sure that your children are able to energize their thoughts in constructive manner. Similarly, in middle school and senior school, we also have more things to share with you. According to their age group, please refer to NCF 2005. Pedagogy style is pick tools from online resources, and then you have to find the type of students in the classroom, which is essential. This is my very important. The third point is one of my most key ingredients before I go inside a classroom for teaching any topic. I take around 3 to 4 classes only to realize and observe what type of students in the class I have and the month of the year, which is essential. If I'm trying to teach them the threads of Java, or threads or connections of cycle or complicated learning from the very first month of their session, they will lose the entire interest of learning and understanding. So it should be always from simple to complex. That is how we have to move in this entire session, your lessons, and you can have that shuffling with your academic coordinator, the tools that you're using, the resources that you're using. So this is something that is something that I've brought up in front of all of you, that the 4 aspects I keep looking and referring. NCF 2005 is my Bible and guide through which I make sure that which chapter needs what kind of a focus of minimum level of learning for the children. Now, this is essential. What kind of student learners do you have in the class? So if any teacher would like to share with her, how does she identify the type of learners in her classroom? Are they independent learners? What kind of learners do you have in your class? How do you identify them? So for me, I would give you a hint. I have seen isolated learners, fantastic, wonderful way of thinking, realizing, and they come in the class, do their work, sit on an individual bench and go away. That's it. That's how they take their classes. This is one of the ways I've seen learners in my class. If you can also help me to identify more learners to the chat box. Okay. Online learners on their abilities. Peer learners, excellent. There I get one word. Ice-breaking pre-lesson activities, yes. Social learners, yes. Wonderful. Visual learners, kinetic learners. Asking questions about previous knowledge, wonderful, Tina. So these are kind of learners that we're looking forward for. And I see that I have bifurcated them in exactly what you all are saying in 4 partitions. Isolated learners are individual learners. And we also have wonderful teachers who come to the school, excel in their work. They come, they complete their tasks, they leave. That's it. They don't talk to many teachers. They don't share much of their feedbacks. They're just focused on their work, their learning, and their commitment to the school. And that's how they work. Similarly, there are students who come in the class, work, and leave. And then we have parallel learners where we have 2 children sitting together, sharing with each other and understanding what they're doing and then learning. So they're moving ahead at equal and consistent timing. And I have cooperative learners who exactly do the same thing together. So for example, we have 2 children painting a tree. So both of them will be painting a tree. Both of them will be using the same color and both of them will be trying to complete it at the same timeline. So those are cooperative learners. And collaborative ones are a group of children who come together, who make sure that they all contribute some or the other way in a project or in a case study, and they try to contribute their skills the way it is comfortably for them to expose, and they try to arrange the whole learning outcome in a group So each learner here has a different capacity of learning. So this is how I identify a learner in my class, and find where are you while you are identifying your learners. You also have to check on yourself. Where are you? So where are you now? That means in that class, when you're observing all of them, are you able to conduct a class through technology, audio and visual for those children who are isolated learners? Are you able to conduct a class for children with some kind of tool and some kind of work together, which can be done on technology, where a collaborative learning takes place? Do you think you have the knowledge of finding a work where two children have to complete a task together in a timeline routine, which can be given again through your technology and tool? So when we saw those 100 tools that I showed to you, you need to identify where are you with those tools? Where are you exactly approaching? Identify your expected learning outcome. This is essential, because if I use 10 tools, but my expected learning outcome was for children to realize the temperature in the summers and the winters, and that couldn't happen. And they could only see the weather, and they could only see some kind of things which just entertained them, but were not able to understand the learning outcome which was expected, then the entire teaching goes off the track. So you need to understand that your technology should be used in such a way in the classroom that when they click on any part of the state in India, they should get it colored into blue or yellow. So blue means the temperature in the month, in that particular month, is cold, and yellow means that's a sunny day. That's a very simple way of identifying a tool. So children start understanding, okay, if I click on Jammu and Kashmir in these particular months, it's blue. And when I click in Rajasthan in these particular months, it's yellow. So the same time, two states have different temperatures. So when you understand this learning outcome for children at the local level, you can show the map of India. When you want to go global, you can show the similar map of the entire globe or a particular continent and compare them with the map clicking tools, which are easily available, which is called as map finders. You can go on that tool and you can see that how you can show children temperature changing in every state. How to achieve. Now, this is how I have told you.
Ma'am, can you request someone to text it in the chat box, the name of the tools, the name of the apps which you are referring to?
I will do that in the end if you don't mind, ma'am.
Sure.
I'll definitely do that. I'm going to share this entire presentation also with you so that we can share it with all the teachers here who have given their very important hour of the day, and they take away a lot from this and teach in the class the way it is comfortable for them. This particular slide, Mukta ma'am, especially why? Because we all feel that we should know everything. No, that's not the reality. We all should learn what our ability is and use it to the maximum in the classroom. Because this is how you will be able to bifurcate now expected and how to achieve. And this is what will help you to make a lesson plan. This is how it will help you how to create your hybrid learning. This is how it will help you to use a blended learning. So if a teacher is very happy, for example, to use a movie and mute it and ask the children to do the lip sync for the characters. Children love it. You have a movie, showcase it to them, show them what exactly they look at it, and they will all then design and think around the dialogues that they want to speak. And the same movie, 4 groups of children will narrate it in a very different format, because that is how they perceive the movie. This is what I wanted to come to. And how to ignite, because you're no class, no technology, nothing can work until you have ignited creativity in the classroom. So these are some tips that I have gathered from my teachers, my colleagues, my leaders, and they say that ask them to create the ground rules for the classroom. So that means you can ask them online to write all the ground rules like I did with you on the chat box. Wasn't that beautiful icebreaker? We thought that we may dance, we may stand, we may jump, we may find each other's name, but that would have taken a long time. 95, 94 members online, we definitely want to have a chat box very actively moving. So that's one of the ways that I ignited a light and a slight creativity among each one of you. Let them speak any language. That's absolutely important. Let them have a translation tool software where they speak, the audio is recorded, texted, and the same thing is converted into English. They copy and paste it in the chat. That's beautiful. There are so many children who are at their native place, at various other places where they want to speak their native language and they want to exhibit their feelings in that language. They can use a translation tool to audio record their language in the form they want to speak, convert it into English and paste it on the chat box. It makes the learning for them so easy. Allow them to complete a task in unlimited time span. This is essential. For example, if I ask a teacher to do a class where there is an unlimited time required for her to go ahead. So I would request Monica ma'am, if Bharti ma'am is there and if she can talk about Think, Pair, Share, where she had used a technology where she asked the children to think around a topic. How did she feel? It was an unlimited time span where she had to work with children. So if Monica, if you can give 1 minute to Bharti ma'am to unmute and talk about her Think, Pair, Share class, which she did recently.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, am I audible, ma'am?
Perfect,
Yes.
Bharti. Thank you so much, Bharti. You're there. Thank you.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. Good evening, Preeti ma'am. And definitely, it was a fantastic class. The way it was conducted, it was about think, pair, and share. So everyone, it is about 3 steps. First, you give a question to a student where we are, as rightly written in our slides, igniting the creativity of the children for that particular question, and then they think over it. Yes, when they think over it, after that, they are being, sent to different rooms, breakout rooms. And Preeti ma'am, I used MT, that is Microsoft Teams. That's our portal. And that's a thing that we use in our school. So it was a fantastic class. Students were really interested. It was really engaging and students were thinking. We could even capture their faces while the thinking process was going on. And then after they were sent to the breakout rooms, they shared what exactly, because they were paired. They were paired with each other and they were thinking about that particular question. And then they came out of those. The third step was to share it with the whole class. What did they feel? What did they do? And definitely this whole activity, really, it was an engaging activity for all the students. And my experience as a teacher, it was mind-boggling. Yes, the results were impeccable. I would say this, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Bharti.
Thank you.
While I was looking at the class, I was feeling so tempted that how come you're not able to stop them? Or why are you not asking them to continue with their learning a little more faster? That patience was lacking in me, but commendable, Bharti. I saw you using the tools so beautifully. She had a Zoom breakout rooms where she allowed 2 children to go together. She was a part of that particular 2 children tool together discussing. She recorded them. She asked them if she can. That's the most important ethics that we all have to look forward for, to ask the children if we can record them. And then she showcased the recorded sharing of 2 children to the entire 40 children in the classroom. Children were just zapped. They were looking at each other. Oh my God, itni achhi English tu bol leti hai. You speak such good words and you use so many kinds of tones and transitions while you're talking. Children had so many hand movements. Children had so many times looking left, right, and around the screen, which made us feel and how much effort we take to think ourselves while we are thinking of preparing a lesson. And these children in fraction of minutes are thinking so quickly, which is a reward, Bharti, because unlimited time given to children definitely makes a lot of difference. Thank you, Bharti.
Ma'am, one thing, lastly, I would want to say that one thing I could see on my students' faces was smile. They were just smiling and definitely they were enjoying the class that day. So it was amazing. Thank you, ma'am, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Bharti. I can't see any of the faces of the audience. I'm sure if they would have been smiling, the classes would have been roaring in a different manner. But I definitely understand the limitation and ask them to give evidence of the learning. This is essential. Now, what happens here is that if you ask them to do something creative, children do that, they beautifully do it. But when the effort comes in, when they have to let you know how to do it and how did they do it, where did they refer it from? So there can be a picture they can show you, they can show you a sound, they can refer links, they can show you some videos. And these are the ways that you actually allow them to showcase their evidence. Ask them for free tools available. So they use search engines to find free tools to use blended learning in the classroom. You can have observers in the class to create reports which can be graphical. with children, do it. And you don't have to tell them graphically. Allow them to show the report the way they want to. I am trying to provide children with some graphical softwares where the same statistics of numbers can be converted into graphs. Ask them for questions related to real life where they can always use videos to showcase. These are very simple things. Don't you agree? Everybody here on the chat, if you can write, these are so simple things. Chat box, translation tool, share Google form, picture, sound, video, link, search engines, graphs, videos, Google form. I don't think that we would ever have any difficulty of allowing children to do this only if creativity is established in the form of demonstration. If anybody can tell me what happened in the previous 6 options that we showed to the children, how will the creativity start coming up? What is that one thing that they could see was being demonstrated to them? Yes, make presenter to kids. Wonderful. Jyoti has written yes. Right. What do you think we did in those 6 points previously in the slide? By allowing them to do things on their own, bringing their own softwares. What was happening in this entire technique? Okay. So wonderful. Rashmi Sharma, I think a big round of applause to you, because this is the word I was looking forward for. You established and demonstrated freedom in the classroom. Imagine if I'm told today, use any tool, Preeti, use any number of hours and start teaching the children the way you feel like. The freedom will escalate my teaching style in the classroom. I was never told by Mukta ma'am, what am I supposed to use? Am I supposed to speak extempore? Am I supposed to use a presentation, a video, a sound, whatever? She just told me that I want you to speak on this. That's it. That gave me so much of freedom. She demonstrated a thought in my mind that I'm free to use my best established ability to showcase. And that helped me to bring up this presentation for all of you. So the freedom once given to the children, they start showcasing it, the learning outcome in a very different flair from individual teacher, which student, it varies to another student. What are you expected to do even before we are connected to student is school timetable is to be understood by you, how many minutes of work that you have to do so that you can arrange your classes, orient your parents and students consistently about the technology that you'll be using. If you need some resources for them to arrange, you have to ask them if they can. Generate awareness on every aspect related to children. Keep learning new teaching styles. Use students as technical resource. Is this essential? I can't tell you any. I want to let you all believe me what I'm trying to say. One of the schools, I asked the children to create the website. I asked the children to create games, and we uploaded their games on the website. We wrote their names over there. Teachers and children use that game to learn various kinds of concepts of geography and maths. This is how children help when they become as a resource to us, which we usually neglect. We always think, oh no, I need to be a better resource for them rather than children coming up with the resource. I think children are the best resource during this time. And safe and secure online application is essential for children to know how exactly law and order is important for them to be aware about, because that can bring them into trouble if they're not using the right way. Especially for a very long time, I really didn't know the meaning of plagiarism. I started knowing the meaning of plagiarism when I started making my own softwares and my own presentations where I had to showcase the links and references from where I was using them. Until then, it is a copied work. So that's something essential for all of you as a teacher also, because sometimes what happens when we're taking a class, it's not only the child, but the whole family looking at your presentation. So if you put those links and references, there might be some of the parents who may say, oh, ma'am has picked it up from somewhere. Oh, that's copied from somewhere. But if you, the minute you write it, I referred it from this link, the entire thought process cools down and okay, fine. She's using different resources to bring to my child and showcase how exactly, and she's not naming that resource of her own. So that's something essential for all of you to please keep in mind. Collect feedbacks frequently. Like, for example, whenever I'm moving ahead, I'm asking you to write a yes or a no. I'm asking you to do something or the other with me, which is giving me a feedback, whether I should give more time on this slide or whether I should skip. A quick movement of the entire class is important, because engagement technically is very low. And for making that happen, Feedbacks is essential. And then assessments to be observed and documented for reference, because this will help you, because you have very short duration with children. You need to quickly assess them. You won't need to observe, do an anecdotal record, and make sure that what exactly your next class will come up with. Joint professional development resources. So the 100 resources that I had shown you, out of which I've picked out these professional development resources that you all should join: webinars, ebooks, online e-moderated courses, self-assessment, social networking, conference applications like Adobe Connect, Blackboard, Collaborate, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Hangouts. I'm sure all of you are doing that. And create video collage, flipped classroom, reflective blogs, conversations, project work, real work, school events, and many more. Soft skills of teacher, which is essential for all of you to know how much ever technically you're equipped, how much ever resources you have. Nothing will work until you don't have these soft skills online. Usually what happens when we are technically online, we are so much worried about the technical glitch which may take place, or maybe not 10 of you just go away and I don't have any one of you, or you will switch off your camera. There are so many things happening inside the system of teaching and learning process that we usually forget about very important aspects of soft skills on technology, which is be polite to receive the response, empathetic to understand their abilities, choose words to inspire and motivate, delegate children work, empower them, know names of each child in your class, identity crisis, refuses to learn. The minute you tell a child, Mohit, can you please speak this? Manender, can you please come up and let me know? Bharti, are you there? The minute you take the name, there is a different kind of a rush of thought in the mind and blood which tells you, I need to be till the end of the class. And ask them to prepare a class which is teamwork, because there you will get to know who are those children who are coming together and who are those children who want to be isolated, who are those children who are parallel, who are those children who are cooperative. So these are the kind of children also identification which helps you to go ahead in your class. Questionnaires to be prepared helps you to focus on the gaps. Monitor the class, essential. Technology has helped me with one very important thing. While we all were together, while we all were talking, I understood one important aspect, that I could observe Mukta ma'am. I could observe the chat of all the educationist mentors here. I could see what exactly they want to translate. I could see what they want to speak. I could see what they want further. And this made me a better teacher, deliberating best way of demonstrating what we are all here for and utilizing the quality time with each other. This is how you will see your class online, and it helps you a lot of speaking less and for them to experiment more. Prepare short lessons, allow children to talk more. How many of you believe that muting the child is closing the learning? Yes or no? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I am so glad you all believe in this thought that yes, muting the child is closing the learning. And if you allow them to speak, make you and let them speak what they want to, it takes a little extra time. But the learning which happens after closing the class is phenomenal. You will find a new student the next day when they're sitting with you. What do smart teachers do for smart learning? They plan, they implement. Anything else? What do they do after that? After they implement, what do you think? Yes. After implementation, what do you do? Reflect, excellent. Practice, wonderful. Assessment, wonderful, wonderful. Wonderful. I think most of them are such wonderful learners. They already know so much. They reflect. Once you implement, most of the people, they don't even take time to reflect what they did for 10 classes. You need to reflect upon what exactly are the tools you have used till now. What was the best tool, and how will you find the best tool? The maximum participation of the children, the maximum attendance in the class is the reflection of the best tool that you used on that particular class. Feedback of children, absolutely neat and clean. Verbal feedback, orally you can ask them, send them a Google form, ask them to write anything that they feel like without their names. Replan after the feedback and reflect. If you think there were 5 classes which were the best, use your next lesson plans by replanning your lesson plans, and then demonstrate it to your peer group. It's essential. Teachers should share their best practices as much as they can, and share it with not only their own school teachers, but different other school teachers, and ask them also to demonstrate their best practices. Share, and then constant learner. If today I'm talking to all of you, and if you think that this is how I'm going to close the session and I'm going to go back and sit in the classroom, that is not what is going to be done. You have to make sure that you are a learner for lifelong, to become a teacher for various kinds of children. Classroom teaching resources. This is something extremely important. Lesson plans are made. We all know we make posters, we make flashcards, we make worksheets, we make authentic text, we do activities, we do online games, and picture, videos, and audios. But time has changed. Hybrid and blended is into picture. So let's see what exactly can you do for collaborative tools. So here we have Google Docs. Any other collaborative tool like Google Docs do you think you can put on the chat for me? New apps, yes. For collaborative, has anybody used Google Docs? Wonderful. Google Sheets, Padlets. The Padlets is there. Yes, wonderful. Deepa Tiwari has written yes. Minty, yes. Wordball. Wordball is something that I used today, so I couldn't put it here. Pen Pal Schools. Google Classroom. Frog Education. It's a beautiful, beautiful platform for all of you to collaborate through this. Google Hangout Meets, we use it on daily routine. We make our own tools, definitely. We do that. I would love to meet Live Project Club very soon. Cisco WebEx. CBSE is using Cisco WebEx beautifully, and they're asking each one of us to use it as much as possible. Cisco WebEx, ClanBeat, and then Technology, Classwork, Zoom. So these all I've extracted from the 100 tools that I've shown you earlier. So you can use them also once I send you the presentation. So these tools, when you Google, you'll quickly find them being used. Application for professional development is Evernote. I have been using Evernote since a very long time. It's a beautiful way of organizing the notes. It is Penzu that you write. Teach, Learn, Lead is a beautiful software where teachers can get to know the pedagogies of teaching, learning from resources, and leading a class. It's a beautiful platform. Coursera, all of us know about it. WordPress, we all know about it. Pinterest is something which is interesting. YouTube is a wonderful platform where you can be a member of. SplashLearn, Top Hat, Twinkle, Writeabout, Voice Digital. 3D Bear is excellent. Slide for Education. This is something, if anybody can tell me about, SOLFEG. Has anybody heard about it? If you can put it on the chat, it is going to motivate one group of teachers a lot. If somebody can tell me what is... Yes, Wacklet is there. Peer Deck and Nearpod. Wonderful, wonderful. Akhila, thank you so much. Has anybody understood about SOLFEG? It's a beautiful software for music teachers. Wonderful. Use it in your classrooms. You will see a different kind of a resonance in class for them. Absolutely. It's a music app. Ritu, thank you so much for your answer. Notion and WhatsApp group is my favorite because I got connected to many people in the education industry through WhatsApp group. Facebook page is essential for all of us to share and get connected to. Lots of practices are put over there. Application for classroom uses. These all that I'm talking about is all in the middle that you use it in the classroom while taking your classes. So applications for the users. Bunsy. Has anybody used ever Bunsy? Anybody can tell me what is Bunsy? Anybody? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a plan book, educational lesson planner. Sound right? Seesaw. Has anybody used Seesaw yet? Please Google it now itself and just write it on the chat. It will stay in your mind forever. this Sunita Rajiv ji, I know we both had attended the class together, I'm sure, in British Council. Seesaw was one of the best ways of going through applications, and it helps a lot for classroom teaching. Kahoot is one of the best ways of organizing quizzes with group of children. It brings a lot of resonance in the class. A lot of children are excited. There's a huge and loud noise. Yes, it's quizzes. EduMod. EdMode is something that my very close friend uses a lot. Socrative, Class Dojo, Quizlet, Plotangon, podcast, Mentimeter. Mentimeter, Mukta ma'am, is a favorite of Ashok Pandey sir. I've been seeing him using it so beautifully in most of the classes that it makes the entire session so interactive. I want you all to use it. But before that, I would also like to let you know, these are all the tools which I told you just now, which you can provide the children and ask them to use it. And you can also use it with them while you're taking the class. But the next one, which I'm telling you now, is the animation in the classroom with children of age group 6 to 17. Love to use it. And these are Toontastics. Kalagami. I'm putting it all for you here so that you know exactly what are we looking forward for in the classroom. These are safe. These are free. These are absolutely animated. These are usable. Less resources required here. This helps you a lot for children to download even on their mobiles for using it for further use after the classroom. Deepa Tiwari has been using Toontastic. I would request if somebody can just allow her for a minute just before I finish. Deepa Tiwari has a beautiful classroom where in nursery class, she puts her hand in front of the children like this and she allows a cartoon to walk in her hand and she narrates a story. That's a beautiful way of engaging. Even a 45-year-old lady like me was so engaged in her class. I would request if Monica can unmute Deepa Tiwari for a minute to let us know how did she use that animated structure on her hand and show to the children.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for allowing me to join this session and share how I have conducted my class. That the video I have made for my students so that as an icebreaker, because I'm teaching to kindergarten and delivering 1-to-1 and it's lecture because online to make the online class little bit interesting. Thank you, Jaspreet Kaur ma'am. Interesting. I made the video for the warm-up session. Can I share that video here?
I don't know if Monica can allow that.
Yes, ma'am. You can share your screen. Ma'am, you have to, Preeti ma'am, you have to stop sharing.
Stop sharing? Okay. I'm so happy, Deepa. Please share your screen. I hope you all can see the cartoon on her hand, animated dancing. Children were glued. They were more happy to see how come it's in her hand, it's not in their hand. And they wanted to hold it. Yes, Sunita ma'am, you have seen our teachers, you have been out to a school. And this has been a real eye-opener. Deepa, if you can tell us the name of the software which teachers can use.
Yes, ma'am. I have made this video by using the Picture. This is an app. Yes. And one more app for the animation, which is Alarupa.
Yes, yes,
yes.
Definitely. See,
more now which is popular. That app we can use in online class, which is Tutor, Tutar, Tutor.
Yes, yes.
But which is the paid app.
Yes, Deepa, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deepa. God bless you. You have made the entire class so energizing by coming on the video and sharing it. If I can share again, Monica, my last slide and I'll close after that. I'll just take 2 minutes, Mukta ma'am, and I'll close my session. I've gone over the board. So I was talking about the animation in the classroom. Deepa does a wonderful job and all the teachers along with her use all those animation tools to create it. I would request all the facilitators and mentors that see how much you can learn. Very essential. Keep it as a ground rule. Please don't, after this session, feel demotivated or think, oh, that's not how I'm using. No, not at all. You're the best. You can do the best. You are doing the best. You just need to know how much you can learn. Will your resources easily be shareable with children? Essential for you, because whatever you're using in the classroom, if your children can't use it at home, or if they can't use it through their technology or resources, it doesn't give that impact which we essentially want our children to have it in their hands. So please see the resources if they can be shared. Should be pocket friendly. It should not be very costly. It should not be something which parents start feeling, oh, it's very costly, ma'am, we can't go ahead with it. So please try to go ahead with free softwares which are very easily available, and work on your own pace. Please don't worry at all. Don't compete with anyone. Marks is being removed from NEP very soon, and very soon we all will be assessing our children on their competency. So if you are today using one tool while you're teaching your children, but all your children are reaching to the learning outcome, you're doing a fantastic job. But if you are using 3 more tools and making sure that they're out-of-the-box thinkers, you're doing an excellent job. But that doesn't mean both of you are lesser than each other. So you have to make sure that you work on your own pace. Don't show all your learnings in one class. Go baby steps so the excitement is there in the classroom for every time. And work in team with teachers, parents, and students. This is essential for all of us. And thank you so much, Mukta ma'am, all the teachers and leaders to be with me for so long. And I'm so sorry I went about 15 minutes off the board. And if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me with the emails that I've written over here, as well as the number given over here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Preeti. I was just looking at the watch, but still every bit I was enjoying. Although I was texting you, it's really, really great. Whatever questions we have received in the registration list, you have answered almost all the questions. Kriti ma'am, do we have any question in the WhatsApp group?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am has already answered all. So thank you so much for being here. We have with us Dr. Hasija. Dr. Hasija, will you please share a few words and bless us? Dr. Hasija? Is he there or is not there?
I couldn't engage him. I couldn't engage him for a very long time, I'm sure.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Preeti. Thank you. And all the team, be the Bharti or Maninder. I'm so happy that the places where you have made the difference. I still remember the school in Kurukshetra. It was, the whole Kurukshetra was, vibrating with your leadership. And still you could connect with those teachers and bring them here on board. That really shows volumes about your leadership, your collaboration and communication, besides you being a IT person. Thank you so much. So I'll request Kriti ma'am to please propose the vote of thanks, formal vote of thanks. Over to Kriti, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Samurja Educational Society, I, Kriti Kapoor, would like to remark a proficient sense of gratefulness to respected Dr. Preeti Ojha ma'am for sharing with us some of the finest skills. All the participants of this talk show are inspired by your sparkling words. I'm sure that all the participants have taken notes and will be discussing within their organization. I would like to thank respected Dr. Rajesh Hasija sir for being there. Also, I would like to thank the Vice President of Samurja Educational Society, Dr. Mukta Mishra ma'am, for her full-fledged efforts. A special thanks to Team Samurja for working hard round the clock. I'm thankful to all the participants for coming live and attending this episode. Once again, thanks a lot to everyone. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Preeti ma'am. Thank you all the participants.
Thank you so much, ma'am.